So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to, this is the intermediate level yoga. My name is John Cochran, and they asked me to say something about props at the beginning. Normally, we're not going to be using any props in the classes because I'm used to working places where they don't have very many props. But next week, we're going to use a belt or an old tie or something like that. So try to remember to have a belt or an old tie handy when we come back next week. All right, let's lie down. We're going to lie down. We're going to start lying down today. So we're going to stretch out on the mat and come into the Shavasana position. And really, for the purposes of this initial relaxation, it's any position that you like. But the classic position is with the arms and the legs straight, the feet separated with the toes rolling outward. The feet can be separated anywhere from 6 to 18 inches, or maybe even more if you'd like. The hands are separated from the torso, and the palms are turned upward. You can vary this in any way you'd like to. We're going to just relax here for the next minute. So now with your next, make your next inhalation a deeper inhalation, and then exhale comfortably. With your next inhalation, we'll bring the hands in beside the torso, we'll bring the feet closer together. As we exhale, we'll bend the knees and bring those feet in closer to the buttocks. And again, we'll just pause here for a couple of breaths, relaxing. With your next inhalation, we'll lift the left foot up off the mat. We're going to reach up and grab hold of this left knee and gently hug the knee in toward the center line first. So we're pressing the knee in toward the center line of the body, and then we're hugging it down toward the breastbone. If you'd like, you can straighten out the right leg. It's not necessary, but you can. We're trying to relax all the muscles around this left hip so that the knee keeps coming closer and closer through relaxing the muscles. Then we'll change sides. Left foot comes down, the right foot, knee comes up, and we're grabbing hold. We're bringing it into the center line first and then hugging down toward the breastbone. Again, you can straighten out the left leg if you'd like. So we're relaxing as much as we can. So we're relaxing, we're letting that right foot come down to the mat. We're going to bring the left foot back up and just bring the foot up to the front of the right knee, and we're going to just relax the leg. We're letting the leg fall away from the torso as far as it will naturally. And then we're going to activate the leg muscles and press the knee a little bit further away. And then we'll just hold that for a few seconds. Then we'll take the left hand up to the inside of the thigh, gently press the knee away from the torso, taking that knee another ½ an inch away or so, something gentle. And then think about pulling this left hip up toward the left rib. So we've probably allowed the pelvis to rotate a little bit to the right. Now we're going to bring it back to the center by lifting that left hip up. Intensifies the stretch just a little bit. As the muscles relax, maybe you can press that knee a little further away. And then we're releasing. We're going to bring that left foot back down to the mat and do the same thing with the right leg. Right foot comes up to the left knee. We're relaxing the leg, letting the leg just fall away comfortably. And then we're activating the leg muscles and pressing the leg a little bit further away, pressing the knee a little further away, holding this for a few seconds. And then we'll take the hand up there and we're going to pay attention to the pelvis. And as you press the leg away, you may notice the pelvis rolling a little bit to the right. So we're going to come back and stabilize the pelvis and then press the knee away without letting it roll or pivot over to the left side. Again, as the muscles in this hip relax, you can press the knee a little further away. So we'll release. We're going to put the right foot down onto the mat and bring the left foot up again. We're going to take this, the heel to the front of the thigh, and then we're going to slide the heel down the thigh as far as you can. We're going to reach up with the hands. We're going to take the left hand to the ankle and the right hand out to the toes. So we're going to point the toes. The hand is on the toes. The right hand is on the toes. The left hand is on the ankle. We're sliding that heel as far down the front of the thigh as you can, all the way to the hip joint if that's at all possible. And we're just holding it here. As far down that thigh as you can come. So I'm going to take the left hand away from the ankle and very gently press on the inside of the knee, pressing that knee a little bit further away. Then we'll slide the hand around behind the knee and we're pulling the knee in toward the chest, as close as you can get it to come down to the chest. We'll release, we'll put that left foot down and we'll do the same thing with the right side. So we'll bring that right heel up to the front of the thigh, sliding it down the thigh as far as you can, reaching up with the right hand to the ankle, the left hand to the toes. We're pointing the toes, sliding the heel down the thigh as far as you can, maybe all the way to the hip joint. We're just holding it here. And we'll take the right hand up to the inside of the knee. We're going to press that knee away as far as you can with reasonable comfort. And now we'll release the pressure. We're sliding the hand around behind the knee. We're pulling this knee in toward the chest. And we'll release. We'll put that right foot down. And let's bring the feet and the knees together. And maybe scoot over to the right side of your mat a little bit. Going to keep the shoulders on the mat and roll the hips over to the left, keeping the knees and the ankles together. We're going to let those knees come as far down toward the floor as you can, keeping them together. We're going to turn the face to the right. Right hand goes out to the side. And we're easing those knees downward, 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 until maybe they come all the way to the floor. If they don't quite make it, you can lower that left knee and just have the right knee reaching down toward the left knee. Then we're rolling back up, and we'll scoot over to the left side of the mat. And then have the knees and the ankles together, shoulders stay down. Left arm goes out to the side now at shoulder level. And with an exhalation, we roll the hips over to the right, turning the face to the left, keeping the knees and ankles together as long as we can until we get as far down as we possibly can get. And then if the right knee hasn't come down all the way to the floor, you can let it come down those last inch or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10. And we're reaching the left knee down toward the right knee. So with your next inhalation, we'll bring those knees back up, recenter in the mat, and then going to, let's take the hands up over the head, interlock the thumbs, and then reach the fingers for the wall up there above you, straighten out the legs and reach the toes for the wall beneath you, and we'll arch the upper torso over to the right. So we're taking the head and the shoulders and the arms over to the right side. Still, we're trying to pull that left arm in enough so that the arm is still touching the ear. We'd like to have it touch the ear. Right arm also, but that's easier. And then we'll come back to the center and maybe relax a little bit. And then we're straightening those arms out, reaching the fingers up, arching to the left now, keeping the right arm up here close to the right ear, touching if possible. Left ear is still touching as well. We'll come back to the centered position. We'll bring the hands down to the hips, and we'll reach the fingers down toward the toes, pointing the toes, and then with an exhalation, we lift the head and shoulders, so we're looking down toward the toes. And with the next exhalation, we're going to lift the chest a little bit higher, and with the next exhalation, we're rolling all the way up, without letting those feet come up and flail around. We're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat. We'll bring the hands behind the thighs. And then we're going to walk those feet back until we can balance on the buttocks and lift the feet up. We're going to take the feet up so that the shins are horizontal. If you can, you turn loose of the thighs and turn the palms upward. If you can, you take the toes up toward the ceiling, straightening the knees out as much as you can. So we'll bring the shins so they're horizontal. We're going to use abdominal muscles to roll forward so that the feet come down without lowering the feet, just rolling the whole body forward. And then turn around to the front, to the side of the mat, or wherever it's comfortable for you, wherever it's most comfortable for you. In a gentle, comfortable cross-leg position. We're going to twist to the right. So we're taking the left hand to the right knee and the right hand around back. We're going to make that teepee with the hand back there. And take the right shoulder up and back and down. We're pressing down into the top of the teepee and lifting the chest, lifting that chest up as high as you can. Exhaling, we pull the belly in, we turn and look over the right shoulder, twisting those shoulders around as far as you can. So take that right shoulder up, back, and down again. Press down to lift the chest again. Another breath in, lifting. As you exhale, pull the belly in and twist even further around to the right. And a breath in as you exhale, coming back to the front and just moving around a little bit to relax. So now we twist to the left. Right hand comes to the left knee and the left hand goes around back, making that teepee. Shoulder goes up, back, and down. Left shoulder is up, back, and down. We're pressing down at the top of the teepee, lifting the chest, pulling the belly in, twisting around, and looking over the left shoulder. So once again, that shoulder goes up, back, and down. We're pressing down, lifting the chest. Take a breath in as you exhale. Pull the belly and twist even further around to the left. Breath in as you exhale. We're relaxing. We're coming back to the front, just moving around a little bit gently. We're going to take the lower ribs around in circles. So this is one of the things I've started doing every day. This is actually the second time for me today. I like to do this 5 times around. So we're coming back around to the front and then we're going the other direction. So this is working, we're coming back to the front. This is working the lower part of the spine. We're going to round the spine. We're just going to lean forward here for a little bit, taking the nose down toward the belly button. So we're not rolling the pelvis forward in this case, maybe even pressing maybe thinking of pressing the sit bones forward. We're rounding the lower part of the spine, making it convex. So the whole spine is convex. And then we'll sit back up and we'll go the other direction. So we're lifting the chest. Let's take the hands around back, someplace comfortable, not too far back. We're arching the spine backward. Now we're pressing the sit bones back, pressing the belly button forward, taking the shoulders up, back, and down, lifting the chest. So we're looking generally up toward the ceiling. Breath in, lifting a little bit higher, and as you exhale, we'll relax. We're coming back to the front now. We're rolling forward. And now we're going to take the head and shoulders around in certain big circles, similar to what we were doing with the lower ribs, but now we're working the upper part of the spine. We're trying to make sure that we get lots of movement in the spine so that, you know, if you take a look at the center line of the chest and you look at the collarbones, then the collarbones go to one side and then the other. So we're not staying nice and straight. We're not keeping the spine straight at all. Arching forward and back and off to the sides. And we'll come back to the front and we'll reverse and go the other direction. One more time around, we're coming back to the front. And again, just going to fold forward here. And then bring the hands to the knees and lift the chest up again so we're looking straight ahead. Bring the hands to the fronts of the knees. We're going to press back on those knees and roll the top of the pelvis forward. So we're pressing the sit bones back, pressing the belly button forward. Take a deep breath in, lifting the chest. And then as you exhale, we're folding forward even more, rolling the pelvis even more forward, and then rounding the spine. So we're taking the nose down toward the point here on the floor or on the mat, just in front of the shins. We're taking the elbows outside the shins, and we're just relaxing into this position. We'll bring the hands underneath the face and pressing down. We inhale to come up, and we're straightening out the legs. Straightening out those legs, just keep the feet together and just, you know, roll the toes from side to side. We're getting some motion up here, all the way up into the hips and in the knees, down in the ankles. We're going to circle the toes, making big circles. And then we'll circle the other direction. And then just going to lift the chest. Just take the hands down beside the hips. Just find the line that crosses, just touches the back of the buttocks, and bring the heels of the hands down to that line as it extends out to the side. Of course, shoulders go up, back, and down. We're lifting the chest, pressing down with the hands and holding forward just a little bit. Flexing the feet, pressing the heels away, and we're feeling some of the tension coming into the calves and the backs of the knees. So try to relax the muscles and lift the chest a little bit higher. Press the top of the pelvis further forward. This is called the staff posture. So deep breath in, lifting the chest. As you exhale, we're relaxing. We're going to take these hands up to the sides and over the head, and then we're arching the spine forward. We bring the fingers down toward the toes, and if they don't come all the way to the toes, you bring them all the way down to the shins, but if you can, you touch the toes. Grab hold of the toes if you can. Even wrap your hands around your feet. So we have this big rounding in the spine. And then we're bringing the hands down to the shins and inhale as we slide the hands up the shins and come back upright. And then we're going to have the left leg straight. The right foot comes to the inside of that left thigh. Just bring, if you can, bring the heel all the way into the groin. And we're going to take this right hand and reach out toward those toes. If you can reach the toes, that's great. If you can't, the hand comes down to the shin. Perfectly all right. We're getting settled in here to begin with, letting the back stretch out some more. A little bit different than when we were folded straight forward over the straight leg, both straight legs. When you're ready, you take the left hand out to the same place where the right hand is, and then level your shoulders. Then try to relax and let the nose come down to the knee. So we'll release the hold on the toes or slide the hands up the shin. We're sitting up tall. We're going to bring the left hand to the inside of this left leg and then just twist around to the right a little bit. We'll take the right hand around back and to assist, and then just twisting gently around, keeping the chest lifted as much as you can so that we're not arched forward, we're not slumped. Then we'll come back and we'll change the feet. So the right foot is straight. The left heel comes all the way into the right groin if you can. And then taking this left hand now, reaching out to the toes, coming out to the toes and touching them if you can, down to the shin if you need to. Allowing your body to relax into this position a little bit. And then we'll take the right hand out to the same spot where the left hand is, and we'll level the shoulders. And then we're relaxing, letting the nose come down toward the knee. So we're releasing and inhaling as we come back up. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, making a big diamond here so the feet are not close to the groins. We're reaching forward, grabbing hold of the ankles. We're going to pull back on the ankles to roll the top of the pelvis forward. See that big movement there? Inhale, lift the chest, and this time we're looking straight ahead. So we're looking directly toward the wall that's ahead of us. Got the elbows up here close to the knees or inside the thighs, and you can gently press down a little bit if you wish, but make sure it's very gentle. And we're lifting the chest. Think of rolling the top of the pelvis forward. Use the hands to pull back to encourage the pelvis to roll forward. close your eyes and concentrate on the breath. And then we'll release. We're going to sit back up, straighten out the legs and move them around a little bit. And then we're going to come onto the mat, onto the left side. So it's scoot around as much as you need to. Come onto the left side, come all the way down onto the side, and then we're going to bend the knees and bring those knees up in front. Okay. So we're going to open the clamshell a few times, keeping the feet together the first few times. Inhaling, opening the clamshell, lifting this right knee up, and then exhaling, closing the clamshell. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, closing. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, closing. So for the next few, we're going to lift the foot. So inhaling, we're opening. Exhaling, we're lifting the foot up, bringing the knee in close to the shoulder. Inhaling, the feet come back together, and exhaling, we're closing. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, lifting. Inhaling, coming back down. Exhaling, closing. Inhaling. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, lifting. We're going to reach up and grab hold of this knee this time. Pull the knee in toward the shoulder and just hold it here. We're going to roll the pelvis forward a little bit. So if you notice, my whole body came forward, including the knee, but then we're going to lift the knee up toward the ceiling a little bit higher. So opening the hips and the groins a little bit more. Different way of doing it. Knee comes in closer and closer and closer to the shoulder. And a breath in, and as you exhale, we're releasing. Feet come together, we're closing the clamshell. Massaging this hip, if it feels beneficial to do so, pausing here for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to straighten out the right leg. Straighten out that right leg. And the first thing we're going to do is just hover that leg at hip level. I've got the foot flexed. I'm just holding this foot up there. Why not, you know? You're going to keep the foot parallel to the floor and then lift the heel up as high as you can. But we're not rotating the leg outward. We're not trying to get up really, really, really high. We're working on these muscles right over here on the outside of the hip that we use for lifting this, separating this leg out to the side. So bring that right leg back down, bend the knee. We're going to bring the knee down toward the mat, or you can bring your foot onto the mat. We're straightening out the left leg. So I like to put my foot on the mat and I hold on to it with my right hand. We're flexing the left foot. We're going to turn the toes down into the mat and then lift that foot up and just hold it there. So breath in, as you exhale, that left leg comes down. I'm going to straighten out the right leg now and bend the left knee again. We've got the leg in line with the torso. We're coming up onto the left elbow for side planks. So we've got the right hand on the mat in front of the belly. Use that for stability as we come up. Take a deep breath in and exhale. With the next inhalation, lifting the hips up off the mat. If you can, you take that right hand up toward the ceiling. If you can, you lift the right leg up so it's horizontal. If you want to, you can rotate that leg outward and lift the foot up toward the ceiling even higher. So breath in and as you exhale, the hand comes down, the right foot comes down, the hip comes down. Let's just stay right here with the elbow under the shoulder. Relax a little bit. You can come all the way down if you'd like to. And then we're straightening out that right leg again. We're going to come back up the side plank, but this time we're going to straighten out the left leg as well. And when we do that, I like to take the bottom foot, I like to take it around behind the foot that's on this leg that's on top. In this case, the left foot is going to go behind the right foot. Deep breath in and exhale. With the inhalation, lifting the hips up off the mat, taking the right hand to the ceiling if you can, and then straighten out the left leg and bring the left foot behind the right and just staying here. So from here, I'm going to bring that right hand down. We're keeping the hips up, we're rotating down, and we're coming directly into the dolphin plank. The palms together, the elbows are underneath the shoulders, hips are lifted. And a breath in as you exhale. We're coming down, we're coming all the way into crocodile and relaxing. So we're going to roll over to the other side. I'm going to flip around so I'll still be facing the camera, but you can just roll over if you'd like to. So we're coming onto the right side this time. And the knees bent. We're just relaxing here for a few breaths. And then we're opening the clamshell. So inhaling, we open the clamshell. Exhaling, we close. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, closing. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, closing. This time we'll lift the foot. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, we lift the foot, bring the knee up all the way toward the shoulder. And then inhaling, the feet come back together, and exhaling, we close. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, lifting. Inhaling, the feet come together. Exhaling, we're closing. One more time. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, lifting. Inhaling, feet come together. Exhaling, we're closing. This time we'll hold the knee. So inhaling, and as you exhale, we lift up. We are reaching up and grabbing hold of this knee. We're pulling the knee in toward the shoulder. We're going to make sure the hips are vertical. So we're rolling the hips forward a little bit, then pulling the knee up toward the ceiling. So take a breath in as you, let's see, and then exhale. With your inhalation, take the feet back together. Exhaling, and close the clamshell. Just rest here for a moment, massaging if you need to. And then we'll straighten out the left leg. And we're lifting that foot up so the leg is just horizontal. Just holding it here. So we'll bring that left foot back down, bring the knee in, straighten out the right leg, bring the left knee to the mat or the left foot to the mat. And then we've got that right leg nice and straight. We're flexing the foot, turning the toes down so the heel lifts up, and then we're lifting the heel up as high as we can and just holding it here. And then we're lowering the right knee. We're changing the legs again. I did forget one thing that we did on the other side. So we're lifting that heel up, so the left leg up so it's horizontal again. We're going to keep the foot parallel to the floor and then lift the foot as high as you can. Got to do this on this side. So again, we're not turning the leg outward. We're not trying to get up really high. We're really working these muscles right out here on the outside of the hip. A lot of muscle work right there. So breath in now, and as you exhale, we're lowering. We'll keep that left leg straight. Make sure the leg is in alignment with the torso, and we come up onto the left elbow. Okay, and we'll be lifting the hips. So deep breath in and exhale. With the inhalation, we lift the hips up off the mat, and then we take that left hand up toward the ceiling, and if you can, you lift the left leg. So if you want to, you can roll that leg outward and lift the foot up as high as you can. So a breath in now, and as you exhale, the hand comes down, the foot comes down, the hip comes down. We're coming all the way down here and relaxing for a moment or two. And then we'll come back up on that right elbow, straightening out the left leg. This time we're going to be straightening out the right leg as well. So we'll be taking, at least I'll be taking the right foot behind the left foot. So deep breath in and exhale. Inhaling out, lifting the hip. We're taking the right leg back, and then the right hand goes up toward the ceiling. The left hand goes up toward the ceiling. And a breath in as you exhale. That left hand comes down, the hip comes down, coming all the way down onto the mat, curling up and relaxing. And then coming up to a seated position again. Going to bring the right foot underneath the left leg. I'm going to bring that foot as far over toward the hip as possible. And then we're bringing the left knee in, and the foot comes in. We're hugging the knee. I'm going to use the right hand to pull the flesh and the ribs out of the way so there's room to move the chest forward inside the thigh here. And we're lifting the chest. With each inhalation, we lift, and each exhalation, we lift again, but press the belly forward. These lower ribs press forward, not the belly, but the lower ribs. I'm going to take this left foot now over to the outside of the right knee. We've got the right foot, start at the right hip and follow it around. I know some people get confused with the placement of these things when we're in the class. So follow your right hip around. The knee comes up in front, and the right foot is over here on the left side. And starting at the left hip, the knee comes up and comes down, and this left foot is over here to the right side of the right knee, just hugging the knee. We're trying to have both sit bones on the mat, and we're hugging the knee in toward the chest or pressing the knee over toward the right side. So we're going to take the right arm forward and see if we can't wrap the elbow around the knee. So I'm going to lean forward, reach around, wrap the elbow around the knee, and now we're hugging it in more and pulling it even more to the right, but the belly is pressed into the thigh when we do this. So we're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, pull the belly away from the thigh, twist the belly past the thigh, and then we're turning and looking over to the left. You can adjust your hold on the knee, pulling that knee across. Another breath in, as you exhale, pull the belly in and then twist even further to the left. Move the belly past the thigh, and then you can turn and look over the left shoulder. So breath in now, and as you exhale, we're coming back to the front, and we're unrolling, unwrapping, unscrambling, moving around, and then we scramble to the other side. So now the left foot comes under the right leg, and we bring that heel as close to the right hip as possible, and we'll bring the right foot in front. We're hugging this right knee. We're going to take the left hand, pull the flesh and the ribs out of the way so there's room for the chest to go in inside this right thigh. And we have both sit bones down on the mat. We're trying to. And just hugging. Now we're going to take this right foot over to the left of the left knee. It comes over here like this. Okay, and we're just hugging the knee in toward the chest and working to keep those sit bones down. This is my harder side, so I have to work on this. Leveling the pelvis, bring that right sit bone down, and then we're just hugging the knee inward. Sitting up really tall. Now we're going to take this left elbow and wrap it around the right knee. Wrapping it around, we're pulling this knee in as much as we can. Okay, so we've got the knee and the belly in contact now. Breath in, and as you exhale, pull the belly away from the thigh, twist the belly around to the right, and then sit up nice and tall, turning and looking to the right. Again, maybe move that, maybe hug the knee a little bit better. Another breath in. As you exhale, pull the belly and twist the belly past the thigh. You can maybe reach over here and pull the belly with your right hand, and then we're turning and looking over the right shoulder. Another breath in, and as you exhale, we're coming back to the front. And straightening out the legs. Taking the legs wide apart, just kind of flopping forward, relaxing. So we're going to take the hands out toward the toes, reach out and grab hold of the toes if you can, or at least touch the toes. Bring your hands down to the shins if that's where you need to be. And we're going to grab hold wherever we are, shins, toes, balls of the feet, wherever you happen to be, and pressing the balls of the feet back toward the knees and pressing the knees down toward the floor and letting the nose come down toward the mat, down toward the floor here in front. And we're also going to roll the top of the pelvis forward as we do that. You really feel an intense stretch here at least I do, here on the insides of the thighs, right in these muscles, big band of muscles that runs up from the groins up to the inside of the knee, feeling this a lot. And then we're going to lift the chest and look straight ahead. So we'll really sit back up. And take the hands around back, bring the feet together. I need to turn sideways on the mat or onto the mat to do this. Taking those hands around back. Have the hands about shoulder width apart. The fingers are turned away from the torso. Shoulders go up, back, and down. With your next inhalation, lift the hips up off the mat. But coming into the upward facing plank, trying to have the hips and the shoulders and the ankles in a nice straight line. So inhale, lift those hips a little bit more. As you exhale, we'll come back down. I'm going to bring those arms around and give ourselves a hug. Nice hug. Change which arm is on the top. Continue to hug here for another couple of seconds. Moving around a little bit, twisting, moving those arms up and down. Let's sweep the arms up over the head, link the thumbs, and reach the fingers up toward the ceiling for a moment. Roll the shoulders back, press the elbows in, and then we're relaxing. Let's come to a standing position. See what happens when we do that. So, I'm going to have to move the mat. I've ordered a new mat so I don't have to move the mat so much. But we'll move this mat back here, something like that. See how we're doing here. Okay. So I'm going to come up toward the front of the mat. And I see my head is cut off, but when we step back, you should be able to see me. Head's cut off, no great loss, I guess. Warrior one, deep breath in. As you exhale, we move the weight over to the left side. We're going to step back with the right foot as far as you can, and then take a second little step back there. Then we're bending the left knee, and we're bringing the knee directly over the ankle. The arms come up in front. And with inhalation, we sweep the arms up over the head. We're turning and looking up between the hands. The right leg is really straight. We're pressing the knee and the thigh up really strongly to make that happen. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, we'll let the hands come down. We're keeping this knee bent. We're turning off to the side of the mat now. We have to rotate that right foot outward a little bit, and then look down to make sure the knee is over the ankle. The arms come out to the side, and we're turning and looking over the fingers of the left hand for warrior two. So we're bending the left elbow. We're going to bring that elbow down to the left knee, and then sweep the right hand up toward the ceiling. When we do this, don't let your chest roll forward. Don't let the don't be looking down at the floor. Roll the chest back and look off to the side. Press the hips forward so that the ankles and the hips and the shoulders are all in the same plane. The right hand's up toward the ceiling. We're looking up. Extended side ankle. So breath in as you exhale. We're turning down. We've still got the knee over the ankle. We're bending forward at the hips. Bring the fingers down to the mat beyond the toes. We're hopping the right foot forward and then pressing down with that left foot to lift the hips. And we're lifting that right foot. And then we're coming up lightly onto the fingertips. And if you can, you lift those hands up. Bring the hands out to the side or sweep them over your head for warrior three. Then bring those fingers back down to the mat. We're bending the standing leg, bringing the toes down to the mat, way back there. We're pressing into that left foot, and then we're stepping forward. Oops, stepping forward. Moving around. Okay. And then we do the same thing on the right side. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we move the weight to the right side. We're stepping back with the left foot as far as you can, taking a second little step back there, bending the right knee. The knee is directly over the ankle. Arms come up in front. Inhaling, sweep the arms up over the head. Turning, looking up between the hands. And then we're checking the left leg, making sure it's pressed back and up really strongly. So breath in now, and as you exhale, the hands come down. We're going to turn off to the left side now. We're going to let that left foot rotate a little bit. The Right knee is still over the right ankle. The arms go out to the side. We're turning and looking over the fingers of the right hand for warrior two. So breath in down as you exhale. We're bending the right elbow. We're bringing that right elbow down toward the right knee. Again, we're not letting the hips stick out in the back, not letting the chest turn downward. We're keeping the chest turned off to the left side, taking the left hand up toward the ceiling. Then a breath in as you exhale. We're turning downward. Bring the fingers out beyond the toes. And then we're hopping the left foot forward until we can press down with the right leg to lift. And then coming up onto the fingertips. And then if you can, you lift those fingers up off the floor. Take the arms out to the side or up over your head. As best you can. Okay, so bring the fingers back down. We're bending the standing leg, bringing the toes back down to the mat, pressing into that front leg, and then stepping forward. And we're going to start closing relaxation now. So come down onto your mat and find a comfortable position. First thing is to be comfortable. Let's see. Pull this mat back just a little bit. So being comfortable is the very first task we have to accomplish. We're letting the body relax in this position, and it takes several moments for the joints and the muscles to release so that you can be comfortable. Find the places where the skin is pulling or where the clothing is pulling in uncomfortable ways. And maybe move the hands out a little further, or maybe the toes, the feet maybe need to be wider apart or closer together even. Whatever is comfortable. Then we scan the body and find the places that are tense, and we relax any tension that we find. So scanning, come to the forehead and relax the muscles of the forehead. Relax the muscles around the eyes, around the cheeks and the jaws. Check the neck and the shoulders to make sure they're relaxed. Run all the way out to the fingers and down the torso to the hips, the thighs, the calves, the shins, the ankles, the feet, the toes, everything. Check everything. Make sure you're still comfortable and fully relaxed. Begin to focus your attention on the breath, observing the breath without trying to control it. Coming back to the breath anytime you discover that the mind has wandered off to something else. And as you concentrate on the mind, allow the mind to become quieter. As you concentrate on the breath, allow the mind to become quieter. And as the mind becomes quieter, you come to a state of calmness and peacefulness, and you enjoy this for the next several minutes. So we have about 2 minutes. Make your next inhalation a deeper inhalation. Exhale comfortably. Take another deep breath in. And with this exhalation, allow a little motion to return to the fingers and the toes, and maybe moving the hips a little bit, or the shoulders, or the head. But then come back to stillness for another couple of moments. Enjoy the peacefulness and the quiet. Take another deep breath in, and with this exhalation, allow a little motion to return. That little motion to move up into the arms and the legs, moving a little bit more, coming up, being more active, maybe rolling from side to side or hugging the knees, whatever feels good to you as an awakening motion right now. But then we're going to come back to stillness. So if you want, you can roll to one side or just find a spot where you are and come back to stillness for a couple of moments. And now, whenever you're ready, slowly bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed, using your hands to find a centered position in your mat. Turn naturally face you guys. Yeah. So now take a really deep breath in, and then really exhale completely. Squeeze all the air out and give that last little puff. And return to normal breathing. A couple of breaths here. And then really filling up the lungs. We're holding the inhalation, so really filling up and holding. Slowly exhale. Come down to the bottom of the exhalation. Squeeze all the air out again. Pull the belly in. Lift the navel up into the lower ribs. That last little puff and hold. And then return to normal breathing. So a deep breath in for the yoga Om. Om, peace, peace, peace. So namaste, everyone. See you next class.